We the people are the rightful masters of both Congress and the courts, not to overthrow the Constitution, but to overthrow the men who pervert the Constitution. You cannot escape the responsibility of tomorrow by evading it today. How many legs does a dog have if you call his tail a leg? 4. Saying that a tail is a leg doesn't make it a leg. The philosophy of the schoolroom in one generation will be the philosophy of the government in the next. Let's have faith that right makes might, and in that faith let us to the end dare to our duties as we understand it. The shepherd drives the wolf from the sheep's throat, for which the sheep thanks the shepherd as his liberator, while the wolf denounces him for the same act as the destroyer of liberty. Plainly, the sheep and the wolf are not agreed upon a definition of liberty. You can fool all the people some of the time, and some of the people all the time, but you cannot fool all the people all the time. I do the very best I know how, the very best I can, and I mean to keep on doing so until the end. I'm not bound to win, but I am bound to be true. I am not bound to succeed, but I am bound to live by the light that I have. I must stand with anybody that stands right, and stand with him while he is right, and part with him when he goes wrong. I am a firm believer in the people. If given the truth, they can be depended upon to meet any national crisis. The point is to bring them the real facts. I like to see a man proud of the place in which he lives. I like to see a man live so that his place will be proud of him. At what point then is the approach of danger to be expected? I answer, if it ever reach us, it must spring up among us. It cannot come from abroad. If destruction be our lot, we must ourselves be its author and finisher. As a nation of free men, we must live through all time or die by suicide. Labor is prior to and independent of capital. Capital is the only fruit of labor and could have never existed if labor had not first existed. Labor is the superior of capital and deserves much higher consideration. Sir, my concern is not whether God is on our side. My greatest concern is to be on God's side, for God is always right. Character is like a tree and reputation like a shadow. The shadow is what we think of it, the tree is the real thing. Every man is said to have his peculiar ambition. Whether it be true or not, I can say for one that I have no other so great as that of being truly esteemed of my fellow men, by rendering myself worthy of their esteem. How far shall I succeed in gratifying this ambition is yet to be developed. My great concern is not whether you have failed, but whether you are content with your failure. Don't worry when you're not recognized, but strive to be worthy of recognition. This country, with its institution, belongs to the people who inhabit it. Whenever they shall grow weary of the existing government, they can exercise their constitutional right of amending it, or exercise their revolutionary right to overthrow it. No man is good enough to govern another man without the other's consent. The probability that we may fail in the struggle ought not to deter us from the support of a cause we believe to be just. If we could first know where we are and whether we are tending, we could then better judge what to do and how to do it. Discourage litigation. Persuade your neighbors to compromise whenever you can. As a peacemaker, the lawyer has superior opportunity of being a good man. There will still be business enough. Stand with anybody that stands right, stand with him while he is right, and part with him when he goes wrong. If there's anything that a man can do well, I say let him do it. Give him a chance. I want it said of me, by those who knew me best, that I always plucked a thistle and planted a flower where I thought a flower would grow. When I'm getting ready to reason with a man, I spend 1/3 of my time thinking about myself and what I'm going to say, and 2/3 about him and what he's going to say. If once you forfeit the confidence of your fellow citizens, you can never regain their respect and esteem. Any people, anywhere, being inclined and having the power, have the right to rise up and shake off the existing government and form a new one that suits them better. This is the most valuable, a most sacred right, a right in which we hope and believe is to liberate the world. The way for a young man to rise up is to improve himself in every way he can, never suspecting that anybody wishes to hinder him. There's another old poet whose name I do not remember who said, but I quote, "Truth is the daughter of time." Let not him who is houseless to pull down the house of another, but let him work diligently and build one for himself, thus by example assuring that his own shall be safe from the violence when built.